My name is Kelley, and OCD makes me ask scary what-if questions every day. I was very scared that when I would be separated from my grandfather, that would be the last time I would see him. I was always the sick kid at school that had the stomach ache. So yeah, it's been with me for a long time. If you see photos of me as a young child, I had scabs on my face, and what we know now is that BFRBs, body-focused repetitive behaviors like thumb sucking, which I sucked my thumb until I was 11 years old, so I'm announcing that to everybody now. As I hit post-college, let's call it like a year out of college, I had a tragic loss where I lost my grandfather, and then the following year I lost my boyfriend, and I witnessed his passing, and it was very traumatic. And that was the first adult onset of my OCD. And it was very much themed into existential and moral and harm. And I spent hours upon hours asking for reassurance or looking up or looking back in my past to look for evidence of whether or not I was a bad person or if I was capable of being part of this or that it was my fault. I was definitely triggered by a real trauma, and then the trauma kind of informed my OCD. As I got treatment from that, it spiked again during the second half of my pregnancy and then post. And it looked very much like contamination when it was perinatal or postnatal. So it was the food I'm putting in my body, is that hurting her because she wasn't growing? I also had a complex pregnancy as well. And then it moved into the classic harming, physical harm. Now it's kind of stayed, and I don't think it's really going anywhere. After the passing of my boyfriend, shortly after I was in major depressive episode, and I became, I was severely depressed, and I was very much stuck in that loop of, this is my fault. I had a huge part in his death, and I genuinely thought that I was more harm to other people or dangerous to other people than it was worth to be alive. I had a very serious suicide attempt, and I came close to not coming back, but I did, and I'm here now, and I'm so glad about that. But the depression was so severe that it kind of trumped the OCD, and because the trauma was so informed by my OCD, that it was missed. And they diagnosed me with major depressive episode, as well as generalized anxiety and PTSD. So I got treatment for the depression and the PTSD. And when I was in treatment for PTSD, the exposure work is where we started to kind of figure out, oh, this is about uncertainty. This isn't just trauma. There's something else here. And that's when I got a formal diagnosis of OCD. And that was at age 26. So it took a long time. And like I said, my first memory was an OCD thought. OCD knows, because it's part of our mind, it knows what we care about and what we love. And if anybody loved their child as much as I did, it just loves her. It just attacks her constantly. Are you saying the right thing to your daughter? Are you looking at her appropriately? Are you mirroring her emotions appropriately? Is this healthy behavior? Is this not healthy behavior? I can find myself definitely engaged with that content when I have conversations with other parents and they're talking about their kids. It's my blind spot. And quite honestly, I don't think it's going anywhere. But because of treatment and because of the work I do and because I work with people with OCD, because I am a specialized therapist for OCD, I have to do exposures all the time, and I have to hold myself accountable, and I have to do the work. And, you know, my daughter also is a huge factor in that. I look at her and I think, I'm not gonna give in to you anymore, because I don't want to lose any more time like I had early on in her life. I have been to the bottom ground, and it was earth-shattering and ground-rattling, and it almost took my life. And I had no idea that it was OCD. That's the wild part of this entire story. And I got help, and I got a second chance, and I'm so grateful for that, because now I'm here and I'm telling my story, and I hope I'm telling it to somebody who needs to hear it. Hope is having this idea that there's something in the future that's better than now. And when I'm sitting with my clients in my office and I know that look, I know where they've been, and I'm telling them in the face, if you won't have hope, then I'm gonna hold it for you, because I know that this stuff will help you if we do the work and we find the right combination of things and the stars align, like we are gonna do this and it will get better. Research is incredibly important to help people with OCD. The average person on the street thinks OCD is washing hands. It's not. So yes, there's gotta be a lot more research. I had postpartum perinatal OCD, and there's been very little work done there as well. I mean, they are doing a lot more work with it, but there's so much more we have to learn about OCD. It's a different monster. It can't just be treated like it's major depressive disorder or PTSD. It's a very complex disorder. We need help, you know, like I'm a clinician, and not every time is it foolproof. And we have these folks who are kind of, they fall through the cracks and they need our help. Because of my OCD, my brain loves to throw scary what-if questions at me every day. But what if you're not alone? And what if research brings hope?